let's quickly talk about declare your economic freedom. Now, I talk about freedom quite often on this show. I talk about the benefits of business ownership, and freedom is one of them. I can sit up here on this show every Friday because I'm free. I don't have to ask anybody. I don't have to take off work. I don't have to bite my tongue, maybe a little bit. But the idea is that you embrace freedom, you're entitled to certain benefits that may not be available to others. And freedom does not necessarily mean, like I say, you have to have a business. You can be free. Freedom starts here in the mind. Now, freedom is entitled to certain things, like particularly if you're starting a business, you get better wages, your working conditions, hours, time to spend with your family, educational options, access to capital, mental and physical health. You have freedom to those things when you elect to be free and to pursue a business ownership. Once you're free, you also start wanting stuff. That's the other thing about freedom. When you yearn for freedom, you also yearn for certain things. You start wanting stuff like owning your own home. You start wanting to get in the stock market. You start wanting things like insurance. And you start wanting stuff like a business. When that mindset of ownership and freedom kicks in, you get desirous of certain things. But freedom ain't free. Don't let that word free throw you off. You have to pay for freedom. And the best way to pay for freedom, the most obvious way, you have to give up something. Now, this to me has been one of the biggest challenges for most of the folks that I've been trying to push this freedom train onto. They want freedom, but they're not ready to sacrifice. They're still under the shackles of materialism. That shackle of materialism that's an enslaver. So when you get into this mindset and you start talking about being free, part of the cost of admission is you have to sacrifice something. You have to reprogram your way of thinking. You got to shun some of these luxury automobiles. Exasperates me to no end. People out here trying to say I'm going to start a business. And the minute they get a little money, they run down to the Mercedes dealership. Now they chock up with a $700 car note trying to start a business. You know what that can do in a business? That can help with payroll. That can pay you, first of all. Could pay a rent, could buy inventory, marketing. You got to shun some of these credit cards too. If you can't afford to pay for it cash, just don't buy it. You don't need a latest fashion if you got to put it on the credit card. You don't need a Louis Vuitton bag if you got to charge it. You don't need to go out to the Four Seasons restaurant if you're going to charge it. If you can't afford to pay for it, don't go. If you're trying to be free. Now, if you want to be shackled and a slave the rest of your life, have at it. Go for it. You can't be free if you're going on a luxury cruise every month. Yeah, I know we need to relax. We talked about rejuvenating earlier. One of those things we got to do at this time of year. We recalibrating. We are trying to get ready for the second half of 2022. So I said rejuvenate. Yeah, you want to do that once a year, twice at the most. But this every time you turn around, you're taking a trip. But my point is, if you want to be free, you can't do some of these things. Now, once you get Oprah kind of money and Jay-Z kind of money, you can go every day if you want to. I'm telling you, but if you're trying to get there, these are things that will hold you back. And you can't be abusing your body either. Alcohol, drugs, vaping. That is not how to be free. Tightening those shackles of oppression. When you become free, these are some of the things that happen to you. You're free to take risk. You can run with scissors. You can eat fish and drink milk. You can wear white after Labor Day. Where'd that come from anyway? Who ever thought of that idea? You have the freedom to be different. You don't have to walk lockstep like a clone. You're free to spend your money wisely. You can leave the Joneses alone. Temptations made a song a few years ago. You guys got to listen to that song if you haven't. Just Google it when you get off here. They say you got to leave the Joneses alone. I'm surprised that song wasn't one of their greatest hits. The problem was it made too much sense, okay? And that's usually the case. Things that are good for us tend not to get the kind of airplay. Have the freedom to work with others, form partnerships and alliances, freedom to help your community, free to change your mind when you want to, freedom to start over, and you have the freedom to stay on that job if that's working for you. I'm not this guy that's going to say, look, everybody's got to quit their job. Tell you, if you got it going like that, support other companies, help nonprofits, volunteer your time. I'm not going to tell everybody to go out here and quit their job because everybody's not built to be a business owner. That's not a knock. Like everybody's not built to be an engineer. So we have to do what we put on this earth to do. Just follow your purpose. And so as we come to the end here, this guy named Peter Marshall said, may we think of freedom not as the right to do what we please, but the opportunity to do what is right. So I want you to look in the mirror, ask yourself, are you ready to declare freedom? And this is not exclusively for business owners. This is for anybody who's trying to make a difference in our community, who's trying to set a good example for our young people, who's trying to build an economic viable community where we can hire our own people, create our own infrastructure, build our own businesses. It takes that freedom, that mindset to make this happen. I can't do it alone. I'm trying to do my part, share this information. I'm going to finish on one of Nelson Mandela's quote. He said, to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and embraces the freedom of others. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's not all about us. I don't care how much money I make, how many followers I get, how many people I reach, how many businesses I start. I'm not happy as long as my people are suffering. So I just got to keep churning. That's freedom. When you have the freedom to do that, and you can do it. Because I know in this season of celebration of independence, started with Juneteenth. Let's run it all the way up to July 4th. And let's give new meaning on what it means to be free.